Hello, I'm Justin Kwong, and I'm going to be talking about streaming audio and video. And what is streaming? Streaming is a method of transmitting or receiving of media content over a continuous flow over the internet. It is made possible through the application layer, and it allows users to view or listen to media over the internet in real time. There are three main ways to approach streaming media. The first is by using a web server. Next is using a web server with a meta file. And finally, using a media server. There are different types of streaming media. Common forms of streaming media would include stored media. So this, for example, would be pre-recorded videos on YouTube. Uh, Streaming of the media is already stored in the files, and this is known as video on demand, or more commonly known as VOD. We can also do live media. So this would include IPTV, Twitch TV, Instagram Live, and internet radio. And another type of streaming media is real-time conferencing. So, for example, this would be Zoom calls, Discord, Skype, and such. Live media streaming is a very popular form of streaming. It has great commercial, entertainment, educational, and personal uses. A video file signal, a digital video signal is broadcasted online to any number of video players globally. The video signal can be very large and it must be compressed by using an encoder. The compressed file is then packaged for a streaming protocol and then transferred to a media server. The media server can convert the content to allow it to be available for different devices, resolutions, bit rates, and internet speeds, and it does this without altering the content itself. And finally, CDNs would also be used. These are content delivery networks, and these are used to reduce latency for audiences around the world. So we're going to use this diagram to get an idea of how streaming using a web server works. We'll start on this left side over here with the client on the browser. The user selects a video from a website using the browser. The browser would then send a GET message to the web server to request a specific file. The web server would then respond with compressed files sent back to the browser. The file is then stored on a scratch file on the disk, and then the media player will decode and then play the file. This approach is a file download, and there will be no real-time network issue. The downside to this is that the entire video must be downloaded before viewing the media. And by streaming using a web server, we're also going to be using this diagram, starting with the client over here. The user selects a video from a website on the browser. The browser sends a GET message to the web server to get a meta file. The web server responds with the meta file information, which normally wouldn't just be a very simple file with basic information of just the URL, the media name. Uh, the browser would then forward the meta file to the media player. A GET message is then sent to the media server to get the media file. The media server responds with the media file, and then the media player plays the audio or video. Web servers typically will use TCP, while the media server will use UDP. And the main reason for this is because TCP is a little bit slower, which is not good for streaming. And the reason for this is because their error correction, flow controls, and these features will cause delay, whereas UDP does not have these features, so it's generally much faster. And for my question is, what does VOD stand for?